This is one video I've been looking forward to doing. Um, are you able to identify the current location of Jeshua's crucifixion? Do you have memories of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem? I don't have memories of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. I don't have memories of that. What I do have memories of is the visual of the crucifixion. Now, in 2006, I traveled to Israel, Greece, and Jordan with a man who remembered being the Apostle Philip. And by the way, in the Bible as it is today, the only place Philip is mentioned is in the book of John, and I lord that over him every time I see him. But I wanted to tell you a story about that trip because I've told this story multiple times, but I'm not sure if I've ever told it on video, so I thought I'd share it. So we traveled all over Israel, went to Galilee, Capernaum. We went through Nazareth. We drove up the hill of Megiddo, which is Armageddon. We went to Qumran, to the Dead Sea Scrolls, and we did it, the whole shebang. It was great, right? I climbed Mount Sinai in Egypt on the trip in 2000, so I had that experience and those biblical experiences then. When I was on my USO tour, I got to go to the home of the prophet Abraham and climb the ziggurat of Ur, and I landed on the site of Babylon. So I was hitting all these spaces. But Jerusalem. So I'm walking through Jerusalem. We go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Supposedly, where it happened, right? Walked into the place, had no sensation at all. I was in a church. There was a bunch of stuff around. It was beautiful. But I had no sensation at all. Climbing Mount Sinai. It was climbing a mountain, but I had no sensation at all. Recently, they in the past 10, 15 years, they opened up the tomb in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and they did carbonating on the lowest thing they found. And the carbonating came back to the time of Constantine's mother. Well, that's in the 300s. Nothing before that, though. They found nothing older than that. Well, Constantine's mother is the person who literally said, this is where it happened. She's also the one who said, Mount Sinai is the mountain of Moses. She's the one who made the list of where all the sites were. Right? She had no proof. She just went there and said, where did it happen? Somebody said this, and they went there. That's it. Boom, done, right? Malicious or not, I don't think so. I don't think it was malicious at all. I think she was thinking she was right. So I'm in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I have no sensation. It's okay, no big deal, right? We leave there. We go outside the Damascus Gate, which is where the Bible says the crucifixion happened. We go out a little ways. We go to something called the Garden Tomb, which is the British Archaeological Society says this is where it really happened. And it's interesting because when you study the Bible, when Jeshua was taken off the cross, he was taken immediately to Joseph of Arimathea's tomb, which was nearby. So we walked into the Garden Tomb, and as I started to walk into the area, I started getting nauseous, started getting sick. The guy with me got very quiet. So I don't know what his physical things were going on, but he got very quiet. He's a stoic guy anyway, but he got really quiet. As I walked closer and closer to the area that they say was the hill of Golgotha, I started to weep, started to cry. I started to have the visceral sensation. And when you get to the overlook and you see it, I remember it, but I remember it from being on top of it, looking the opposite direction. I knew that hillside was where it happened. I knew it. And then, right there at the Garden Tomb, right next to it, nearby, is a tomb of a wealthy man that they found. And when they opened that tomb, they found one of the areas where a body would have been laid out. The tomb looked like it had never been used, but where the body had been laid out over top of one of the empty spots had been carved across. And it's like this was never used, and yet they put a cross over this one bed. And so to me, I look at it and that's fascinating. The question is that cross of the time? Because was the cross used as a symbol of Jeshua at the time? Or did the cross become a symbol afterwards to get carved in that tomb because this was the spot? I got there and I knew it was the spot. I knew it was. I could feel it. I was sick. I was crying. I was weeping. And I turned to my very stoic friend and I said, "What do you think?" And he looked at me with this really taken face and he says, "I think they got it right." And the two of us were like, okay, this is... If you search right now, the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem, you'll see the pictures of it. You'll see the Skull Hill, as they called it. And what's really interesting is people of different faiths defaced the hill because they believed it was the hill as well. And so it's if I was going to say that one place was the place, I would say that was the place. I had that experience. I had that feeling. I had that emotional reaction to that space. And I believe that there is an imprint for me on that space that really made me weep and cry, just like my regression. So that's my thought on that. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.